But Alberta ain't ready to kneel just yet. They chose their king, their power was met, but we don't answer to Ottawa yet. No crown gave us what we've earned, just dirt and fire and lessons learned. Now the ground it shakes, the steel it groans, and Alberta walks alone. We ride sovereign steel through fire, through frost. We ain't the last, we're the line they lost. Alberta stands, never on its knees. A nation born in the forge of the free. From the rigs to the rails, the crops to the code, we lit their streets, we bore their load. They laughed at pride, they mocked the West, but freedom don't die, it just waits for the test. The cowboys ride, the farmers rise, 5 million strong under open skies. No leash, no lie, no foreign throne. This land is steel and it stands alone. We ride sovereign steel through fire, through frost. We ain't the last, we're the line they lost. Alberta stands, never on its knees. A nation born in the forge of the free. Kill the mountain, can't drown the plain, can't burn the spirit that won't be chained. He stares down east with a calloused hand and says, this time we draw the line in the land. We ride sovereign steel through fire, through frost. We ain't the last, we're the line they lost. Alberta stands, never on its knees. A nation born in the forge of the free.
Hang on one second. You didn't even hear me. Hello, it's 7-Eleven Daily Summer Wish Bushel. Thank you very much for joining me. It is extraordinary time to be alive. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to share this out, get some more eyeballs on this information. It is a great time to be alive. I'm very excited to be here as usual. And we're going to get into some breaking down. Is your car spying on you? Are they sucking the data from you to fill those data centers to track and trace and add to your social credit system, to watch where you're going and watch how fast you're driving, how fast you're stopping, watch your eyes, see if you're awake, see if you're drunk, see if you're high, see if you're having sex in the car. All those things you can say yes to. This is quite insane. And I'm sure you're going to want to listen to this. I am digging more into the spy car issue. Your car, the new car that you just bought, is spying on you. All right, we're going to get into that here shortly. I appreciate you being here. As usual, I try to do this on a daily basis. But last night I had a little bit of audio issue. Hopefully StreamYard has their crap together and we can have a smooth show. And like I said, make sure to share this out, get some more eyeballs on this information. We need to wake up more Canadians. We need to wake up more humans in general. And if you're thinking about getting a new car, consider the information that I'm going to share with you tonight. All right. We're going to get into unscrewing some news here shortly. I love to support local businesses. My favorite local business to support is nuggetsacker.com. This may be the right situation for you as well. Get some gold and silver, protect your family's wealth. I am not your investment advisor, but I do suggest doing the same for your family. It has been beneficial to my family. And I do suggest you giving them a call, 1-866-644-2121. Up at the top left-hand side, you'll see that little QR code. You can save some money on your next order of gold and silver that way. Just click on that. You can also go through my website, unscrewthenews.com, click on the link for Nugget Sacker, and you get a bit of a discount. Yeah, do your family a favor. Get some gold and silver from Nugget Stacker. The prices are, I know I was, I first started buying it at $20 an ounce. It's, I think it was 105, but buying it is about $110 an ounce today. So it's been good. And it's going to continue, you know, as we struggle financially, especially in Canada here. You're going to see that gold and silver are going to skyrocket, I believe. All right, one more thing I want to talk to you about briefly before we get into unscrewing some news is a great event being hosted by Fergus Hodgson of Econ Americas and Impunity Observer. He is here to put this event on from Colorado. You know, I appreciate him. Whoa, what's going on there? Stop that. Hey. All right. Anyway, he's here to obviously support Alberta independence, but putting on this event right after Keith Wilson and Jason the Snake Kenney do their debate on Monday, May 25th. This will be at 6 p.m. at the Bourbon Room. I think it's very close to where the other event with Keith Wilson and Jason Kenney are going to be. So Keith Wilson, Eva Chipiak, and some other great people are going to be there. I'll be there myself, and I look forward to seeing you in person. If you manage to get a ticket, it is sold out, but this is going to be, I think, a great event. All right, we're going to get into, like I said, unscrewing some news here. Stand by while I pull up the first thing that I want to talk about, and that is this guy right here. Let me just see, where are you? Back to the stage. There you are. All right. So I found this. You know, last night I started talking about, not that I started, I've been talking about this before, but I just dug up some more information on the whole spying car issue. I suggest having an older car that doesn't have the spy stuff in it, but I also have a newer car that does, and it's a Ford Bronco Sport. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to get into figuring out how to disable some of that stuff. All right, let's watch this. This is can't remember what this guy's name is. Chuck Black
is in your car. I just unplugged it from mine, and you can take your car off the grid. It's actually tracking you, and you can do something about it. You're not even going to lose any features. This is the tracking unit that's in your car. Check it out. Everything is still working. The navigation, all the features that I want and care about, other than them tracking me, it still functions. This black box has been buried in my car since I bought it, and it's tracking me everywhere I go. I ain't digging it. I don't like it. I didn't sign any agreement to say, go ahead and track me or sell my information. This week, we're digging into how it all works and how it all came together. I'm thinking privacy ain't private no more, and freedom ain't free. How does it know everywhere I go? I'm going to explain to you the details as we dig into it at the end of every episode. I always do a Bible study because the Bible study actually changed my life. But in the meantime, let's talk about these facts. This ain't no conspiracy theory. The thing that blew me away, guys, is as an engineer, I understand how the technology works, and we're going to get into it in detail. But did you know in 2027, there's a law mandating forward-facing cameras, meaning cameras looking at you as you're driving the car. And you're signing agreements to give away your privacy. You know, the terms agreements and all the details that you got to go through, and I agree to this and I agree to that. You're agreeing to it to boot. It ain't good, but I'm going to dig into the details of how this all lays together, how it actually works, and how we can maybe start mitigating some of these things. It's a risk. You need to be aware of it, and I don't like it, and I don't think you will either. So I'm Harry. This is Studio Hot Rods. I'm a high-end hot rod builder. I kind of specialize in Chevelles. I put all the latest technologies in the car, and as I'm integrating the coolest stuff, I came across that black box, and I was like, is that really true? Is that really doing what I think it's doing, right? That is the device that really tipped me off to talk about this, because I've been researching it like crazy, and I understand how this stuff works. I'm a mechanical and electrical engineer by trade, and I have designed systems that communicated over the internet that went all over the globe, right? I had 5,000 pieces of equipment at Walgreens stores, and then I had my tools and equipment that I designed that worked all over in, I don't know, a couple hundred different countries around the planet that I all controlled from one little room that I used to call chaos. Seriously, if they didn't pay their bill, I shut the machine down. As they would get trained and use the machine, I would actually be able to make the machine run different and run faster. So when it comes to like the protocol and what can be done, now that the auto manufacturers and these data brokers, I'll explain that in a minute, have access to your information, it's kind of scary. Now, I make a lot of cool parts other than just the cars. You can see my printer farm behind me. So I understand the technology piece really, really well, but I got to tell you how I feel like the frog in the pot. Have you guys ever heard that adage, right? You put the frog in the pot and you turn the heat on the bottom, and the warmer it gets, it gets to a point where it actually could just kill the frog. But if the water was hot and you threw the frog in the pot, boom, he'd bounce right out of it. And that's where I'm at. I really feel like we need to understand what they can do and what they are doing with this technology. It ain't cool. I want to talk about facts versus conspiracy theory. Now, here's the deal.
All right, I'm moving on from him, but he's a good guy. Obviously has a background in doing this, obviously information technology, a very intelligent dude. And he, if you want to find him, Studio Hot Rods. I'm going to move on to the next one here. And this is just, I've got a bunch of clips that I think that you'll like. So let me just see if we can zoom that one in a bit. This is from the Washington Post. I'm going to try and give it a bit of speed too.
I'm no mechanic, but I know one thing most people haven't figured out about their cars.
By the way, this is an older clip.
They don't just guzzle gas, they guzzle data.
You see, as of 2020, almost all new cars sold in America will come with an internet connection that's always on, constantly sending your information to Lord only knows. Older cars collect data too. Every time you plug in your phone, there's a chance it's copying over your personal information. What's it sharing? And with whom? The dashboard doesn't say. It isn't in the owner's manual. You won't find it in an app either.
It's enough to make a guy want a car-sized tinfoil hat.
Okay, covering your car in foil is a little extreme, but the reality is there are no federal laws restricting how cars collect and use your data. That means you are not really in the driver's seat. So what do you know about me, 2017 Chevrolet? And who are you sharing it with? I asked the car maker directly, and they wouldn't tell me. Trying to uncover my data's secret life is quite a trip.
All right, that was just giving a little bit of credibility to the story. And then I'm going to go into some other videos here.
Warranty claims ought to pass off to insurance companies to raise your premium.
Your car could be spying on you, and at least one automaker is sharing that information with insurance companies.
A Henry County woman learned it was happening to her when her insurance bill skyrocketed, and now she's warning others about the issue.
Your car's essentially turning into a computer and collecting data on you as you drive.
On June 8th, 2024, Brian was driving his 2023 Toyota Corolla GR.
Okay, I showed this clip last night, so I'm going to skip ahead to about there.
Varying degrees, as you'll soon see. The knee-jerk argument is that this is being done for the safety and benefit of drivers. Car manufacturers will always try to hammer this point home. And at a stretch, if you squint your eyes, perhaps you could see it that way. But if we're being real, it turns out that these car companies are making millions off selling your driver data to brokers and onto insurance companies. Your insurance premium could start skyrocketing and you have no idea why. The last thing you'd expect is that your humble car was snitching on you to a large corporation. The New York Times gave an example of Ken Dahl, a 65-year-old careful driver who had never been responsible for an accident. Suddenly, in 2022, he got a rude shock when his car insurance costs jumped by 21%. After shopping around, he realized something strange. Other car insurance packages were suddenly unusually high for him too. Wondering what was going on, he asked an insurance agent and he told him the real answer. He'd gotten a bad report from LexisNexis. Now who the heck is that? Well, they're one of those third-party data brokers. And where did LexisNexis get the data from? From General Motors, who made Mr. Dahl's Chevy Bolt. He dug a bit deeper and got his hands on the actual report from Lexis. It was over 130 pages long, detailing every move that he and his wife had made. 640 trips. It included when he was speeding, braked sharply or accelerated sharply, the time they set off for a trip, and the time the trip concluded. Mr. Dahl would tell the New York Times, quote, "It felt like a betrayal. They're taking information that I didn't realize was going to be shared and screwing with our insurance," end quote.
Hundreds of pages.
Hundreds of pages. This is my LexisNexis Consumer Disclosure Report. I'm appalled.
Hundreds of pages of data on Tamika Clay's LexisNexis credit report from her Chevy Camaro. And GM shared 603 of those entries with data brokers.
So the pipeline is this. The raw data from your car is collected, sold to data brokers who analyze it and then send it to your insurance company, all without you having a clue. Some car companies do sell the information directly, and some do have opt-in clauses, but many don't and are on by default without the drivers knowing. Furthermore, these drivers aren't aware that their data is being shared with third parties. Even for those drivers who opt in on data collection to improve their driving, they innocently think it's going to help them become a better driver. There's still no obvious indication that this data is going to third parties. A lot of the time, it's hidden behind the fine print of legal jargon.
All right, moving on to the next clip here, guys. Excuse me. I hope you're learning lots and taking it all in, so stand by.
Take my advice. Do not buy a new car in 2027. I keep telling y'all, AI is taking over everything. And the car that you purchase isn't even your car anymore. It's the government's car. In 2027, every new car that's made is required to have mandatory federal surveillance technology. You heard what I just said? Everything that you do in your car will be tracked. This law gives them the power to listen to everything that's going on in your car. This law gives them the power to watch everything that's going on in your car. If you are driving too fast, AI will alert the police and let them know. If you are conversating on a handheld device, AI will detect this and alert the authority. Mind you, if the AI system in your vehicle thinks that you're a danger by the slightest bit, your vehicle will automatically turn off. The law basically states that this technology needs to constantly monitor every single thing that you're doing. This is through AI cameras. This is through sensors. So basically, you don't even have the power to do anything in your car anymore. AI has the power. For the people who indulge in criminal activities, best believe this. It's either one, your car is shut down, or two, your car might just drive your ass straight to the police station.
All right, this lady's pretty good. Let's listen to what she has to say here.
I just purchased a Toyota 4Runner after 18 years of driving a Honda Element. It was like a brick phone on wheels, but now I'm driving a smartphone with all kinds of tracking technology. So the first thing I did before even leaving the dealership was turn off as much data collection as possible. I downloaded the manufacturer's app, entered my VIN, and then declined all connected services features. These wirelessly transmit my location and vehicle health to Toyota. Then I went to vehicleprivacyreport.com, entered my VIN, and I about died when I saw all the tracking still on my car. My 4Runner collects identifiers like my name, mailing address, email, and demographic info. It also collects biometrics, including my geolocation, driver's license, and financial info. And I learned my car not only tracks my data, it sells it too. My car sells information to affiliates like sponsors, partners, and advertisers. And finally, it should come as a surprise to no one that car companies will share your data with the government when legally obligated to do so. So I opted out of targeted advertising, the sharing or selling of my data, and any marketing communications. Is your car spying on you? Here's how to check. I just purchased a Toyota.
All right. That was good. Okay, here's another one. Try sharing your screen again. Restart your browser if this continues to be a problem. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to try unsharing and then sharing again. So stand by. All right, let's play that. See.
Deleted after a trade-in? Today, I'll explain how modern car
Let me know
infotainment
if there's
systems
no
collect
audio,
your
guys.
data like you're 5 years old. By the end, you'll understand exactly what your car knows about you. You'll learn why manufacturers designed these systems to be data vacuums, and the one deletion method they're desperately hoping you'll never discover. Here's what most people think happens when they buy a new car. They assume that if they didn't download the manufacturer's app or sign up for some premium connected service, they're safe. Like their car is just a car. 4 wheels, an engine, and maybe a backup camera. But that's not how any of this works in modern vehicles anymore. Your car is a computer on wheels with always-on sensors. And the moment you slide into the driver's seat, it starts logging everything. The weight sensor in your seat activates to calibrate the airbag. The GPS chip powers on even if you never touch the navigation screen. And that infotainment system has been awake this whole time, waiting for you to make one tiny mistake, like connecting your phone just once. The second you plug in or pair your device, the car doesn't just stream your music. It vacuums up your contacts, every single name, number, and email address you've saved. It copies your recent call logs so it knows who you talk to and how often. It grabs text message previews because it wants to display them on your dashboard. They call this convenience, but it's actually data extraction. Some systems even pull your browsing history if you've got certain apps open. And here's the part that makes your stomach drop. It keeps all of this data even after you disconnect your phone and drive away. It's like lending someone your laptop for 5 minutes and finding out they cloned your hard drive. Now here's where it gets wild with location tracking. Your car tracks every single place you drive, not just when you're using the built-in navigation. The GPS module logs your routes, timestamps every trip, and builds a detailed movement profile over weeks and months. It knows when you leave for work every morning, and which coffee shop you hit on Tuesdays. It knows that address you visited last Saturday night, and how long you stayed. Some manufacturers store this data locally, but plenty of them upload it to their servers automatically.
All right, we're going to go on instead of listening to that. Add
personal. Technical data is information about the car itself. Battery, engine health, brakes, and so on. Personal is about the driver or passengers in the car. Nearly anything you do in a car can be tracked, and it can store fingerprints and images of your facial features, medical information for emergency assistance services, financial information for purchases, passwords, your home address, and of course, the codes to your garage door. Cars can record tons of information about exactly where, when, and how you drive, and where and when you park. It's of great interest to all sorts of parties, including insurance companies.
That they could collect your biometric information, your genetic information, information about your sex life, your sexual activity, your union status, your immigration status, things like that that are kind of very sensitive information. And again, who knows if they're collecting it? All we know is that they require you to consent to a privacy policy that says that they can. And the question then becomes, well, how does them, requiring me to consent to them collecting information about my sex life get me from point A to point B safely, which is what the car is supposed to do.
That data is funneled into any one of 60 or so onboard computers. Cars also commonly have 4G or 5G modems. This, of course, allows anyone in the car to use the internet for work, navigation, or say if the kids in the back seat want to watch a movie on a road trip. But as you drive through the world, it's also broadcasting a Wi-Fi network and the car's serial number. Rear-facing cameras are required by law. Front-facing cameras are common, and a growing number of vehicles have cameras all around them, such as on mirrors for lane keeping assist features. Even some inside, pointed at the driver, such as those used for the driver assistance system.
Do you want the OEM constantly collecting a photo of you or your passengers inside the car? And some of these are camera-based, some of these are infrared eye, monitoring systems. It kind of varies across the OEM and model of what they decided to use. Even the forward-facing camera, you pull inside your garage, that camera has a view inside of your garage and possibly into your home. There's data there that I personally wouldn't want people having a camera on 24/7 inside my garage.
Tesla's Sentry Mode, which guards the car as it is parked, uses the cameras positioned around the car to record suspicious activity. Connecting a smartphone provides an even greater source of data and the opportunity to draw a whole new range of connections. Your smartphone maker might have a very tight data management policy, but the infotainment system maker you plug it into might not. So who is interested in this data and what are they doing with it? It depends on who they are, companies, cops, or criminals. First, let's talk about companies.
I think it started with good intentions, right? So cars, again, a lot of sensors were added and many of these features were actually for safety, right? And then I think companies woke up one day and realized, oh my gosh, we have this giant pile of data.
McKinsey, the consultancy, estimated in 2016 that the vehicle data monetization market would be worth about $750 billion by 2030. Some data is collected for internal use by, say, the OEMs themselves or their captive financing arm, or to provide data to their dealerships. Automakers have also in recent years tried to offer features and services directly to customers in the car throughout the life of the vehicle.
And so that's when the divergent points started to happen, in which data collection became more and more because they wanted to know about you and market things to you, and less about because it was strictly necessary for the maintenance and safety of the vehicle.
Data gets sold to or otherwise shared with advertising and research firms, social media companies, and others. Of the 25 brands the Mozilla Foundation studied in 2023, 84% shared their data with outside firms, 76% sold it. That includes data brokers, which will sell extremely granular data on drivers, including metrics like heart rate and driver fatigue. Data can be sold to insurance companies, even the ones the driver has a policy with. 56% of companies in the Mozilla study shared data with government or law enforcement in response to a request, which seems to be a broad and hazy category that can include someone simply asking for it.
I don't want law enforcement to have access to any of my car's data or data about my location or my microphone or camera without like significant reason for them to access that. And the fact that, they said that they could access it with something as little as an informal request was kind of nuts.
We have a process and procedure around getting a warrant or a wiretap for phones. There's not really set laws and procedures around setting up a station that collects, MAC addresses and over-the-air tire pressure serial numbers, but you could still start to track that, and you combine that with, say, a license plate reader on the edge of your city, and you set up a few of these monitoring stations throughout your city, you can understand the pattern of where everyone in your town is going without having to have license plate readers everywhere.
Finally, crime.
We helped a few dealerships in our last couple of years recovering vehicles because they realized that a consumer can come in with fake documents, they can test drive the car, they create a connected account, and then guess what? This has become a spare key. You come back at night, you locate the car, you unlock it, you start it, you take it.
Privacy for Cars, a data privacy consumer protection company, says the data a car holds is more valuable to criminals than the car itself. Data or privacy breaches have been the most common cybersecurity threat against automotive companies in the last decade. There are also cases of domestic abuse.
A new plan out today would make domestic abuse laws apply to car makers to try to get ahead of some of the concerns that connected cars, or cars that connect to the internet, could enable stalking because of features like the ability to track your car or turn your car on or off remotely.
Problems continue after the car is out of your hands. 4 out of 5 cars are sold with some personal data still on them.
And in fact, one of the biggest problems we face in privacy today is that companies are bundling consent. My wife bought a car recently, and it comes with one of those buttons, right? And if you press or if you get into an accident, it calls automatically emergency services.
The problem is you are agreeing to give them a lot more data than they need for the service.
I think we can all agree that safety is super important. I mean, more than 40,000 people lose their lives every year. I feel at times that our safety is a little bit less, holding us hostage, and is used as a leverage point for companies to extract data that has nothing to do, that is used for nothing to do with safety.
What Amico is talking about is just one problem. Another is when companies allegedly gather data without any consent at all. And there's been several lawsuits on those grounds. One driver said General Motors and LexisNexis Risk Solutions collected and distributed his driving data, and it ultimately made its way to insurance companies. He found it hard to secure insurance from several providers, and when he did, rates were doubled. It doesn't help that a car can't tell who's driving. A friend or partner's worst driving habits could drive up your insurance rate. GM told CNBC it is reviewing the complaints and has no further comment at this time. It did sever ties and stop sharing data with Verisk and LexisNexis Risk Solutions on March 20th, 2024. As the Mozilla report shows, nearly all brands available in the US today have some kind of problematic data policy or practice. CNBC reached out to every automaker on the Mozilla list. GM, Nissan, Toyota, Stellantis, and BMW responded with statements saying they take customer privacy and data protection very seriously and comply with all applicable laws. Nissan said previous reports suggesting otherwise misunderstood or mischaracterized our privacy practices. And Stellantis added that the Mozilla report contained multiple errors.
They say it contains all these errors, but they've never pointed any of those errors out to us directly, because we were always like, we'll make changes if you can prove to us that we got something wrong, and they've not done any of that.
The major trade group, Alliance for Automotive Innovation, shared a privacy memo saying that connected car technology enables life-saving safety systems, allows automakers to proactively identify defects and pinpoint resolutions by design. No, your car isn't spying on you.
Companies will tell you, well, everything is properly disclosed in our privacy policies and terms, which takes an average of, 5, 6, 7 hours for each manufacturer to read. And very often you need a college degree or graduate degrees.
Welcome to the next evolution of AI, built right into the Alteryx platform.
Hang on.
Now,
Amigo said that Privacy for Cars research indicates that less than 12% of dealerships tell customers that their cars will share their data. Even when they do, they often say the vehicle only shares data that is relevant to the vehicle warranty, or in case of emergency, or to provide some service. As cars have been increasingly stuffed with tech, the case for data monetization appears to have weakened. In 2021, McKinsey cut its connected car data market estimate by about half.
So a little bit of exaggeration happened at the beginning, which is why, numbers may decrease over time. And it's very common with high tech. I'm sure you may remember projections back in the late 90s about, internet.
All right, I'm stopping it there, you guys. Hopefully you found that useful and interesting. One of the other things I want to say, or a couple of other things that I want to say about that is I suggest doing everything that you can. I'm not going to tell you that you should, or you should, do what you feel is necessary. I truly think that we are being abused. I will do what I can to protect my family from this snooping on all of our data, as far as tracking each and every stop, the times, also tracking your eyes. Watch this. Like I said, I prefer to have older cars that I can maintain, and I have the ability to do some of that work. I'm not a mechanic by any means, but anyway, this is just a warning and a reminder for you to be paying attention. As usual, I want to unscrew what you've been told, and always be leery of the phrase, for your safety. And I believe this plays into that same category of, it's for your safety, but it's certainly not for your privacy. And, I suggest you do what you can. So if you have any comments or questions, I would love to hear them. You can email me at unscrewthenews@proton.me. You can find me through my website, unscrewthenews.com. I am on Rumble. I'm on BitChute. I'm on YouTube, Substack, X, of course, and even Twitch. We're live streaming on Twitch right now. But share this with your friends. If you like what I'm doing, please give me a like and support the channel. You know what? I've got a fantastic bunch of merch through unscrewthenews.com. You can see I've got hats. I don't have coffee tumblers right now, but we have some great shirts for Alberta Independence, as well as excuse me, I think I've now exhausted it, but I look forward to seeing you if you are out at the event on May 25th at the Bourbon Room after the Kenny Wilson debate. And I hope you have a great night. God bless you all. Let's stay sane together. Keep your head on a swivel. This is Bruce, and I'm out of here.
Thank you so much for watching Unscrew the News. I appreciate your participation in freedom in Canada. Share this information and help others to wake up. God bless.